Morning. Welcome to your practice. So we'll start today laying down. So if you're not already on your mat, go ahead and come onto your mat and we'll start laying down. And so as you come to lay down on your back, just start with your knees bent and allow the knees to sway a little bit from side to side. Just generally kind of checking in with the hips. But then you'll also start to notice that this movement allows the back to move, so you can check in with your low back. And then start to breathe a little bit more deeply so that you feel each inhale and exhale start to energize and then relax you. And then after you've swayed your knees a few times from side to side, then draw the knees into the chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. Rock a little side to side. And then just let your knees separate enough so that your feet also separate. And then just start to rotate through your ankles a few times. Go both directions. All right, and then release your left leg along the floor. We'll move the rotation up into the hip, so up into the right hip in particular. So just release your arms out of the way and then start to rotate through your right hip by drawing a circle with your knee. And then after you've done that in a few times in one direction, just change directions. Same leg, opposite way. All right, and then the next time that your right knee comes in toward your chest, go ahead and catch your leg, pick your head up, bring your forehead towards your knee as you take a breath. And release your head to the floor. Then we'll take this right knee over toward the floor on the left. And just roll fully onto your left hip. And then sweep your right arm up and over to the right. Now, maybe that right knee touches the floor. Maybe you have a block or something soft to put underneath your knee if that's comfortable for you. See which way your head wants to turn. And relax into this rotation. Noticing what sensation is present for you, as well as how does it feel to breathe in this shape. All right, take one more breath. Now, keeping this right knee bent, bring it back through center and just let it drop over to the right side so that your right foot is kind of to the inside of your left thigh with that right knee dropped out to the side. And just take a few breaths. All right, and then let your left knee bend, walk the foot in. So the feet are kind of close to each other. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So right ankle, left thigh. And then bring the legs in toward the chest, reaching through for your left leg. Rock a bit side to side. All right, then we'll take the hands behind the left knee so that the left leg is able to straighten up toward the ceiling. And just start to reach up through your heel as you pull your left toes down. And then point the toes up. Stretch the top of the foot, the front of the ankle. Again, reach up through your heel. Pull your toes down. And once more, point through the toes. So, as your left foot and ankle now relax, straighten your right leg up to join it. So, you've got your right ankle crossed over your left ankle. And then interlace your fingers. Take your hands behind your head. Rest your head and elbows on the floor. Now, as you inhale, slowly lower your legs toward the floor, trying to keep them relatively straight. And exhale, pull the legs back up. We'll do that 2 more times, nice and slow. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. And then one more, breathing in and breathing out. All right, as you uncross the legs, feet come to the floor. We'll once again sway the knees from side to side just a few times. All right, then as you release your hands from behind your head, straighten out your right leg. Take your left knee into your chest, give it a gentle squeeze. And then we'll start to rotate through the hips, so just release the arms. Left knee draws a big circle in space. And change directions. All right, the next time your left knee comes into your chest, go ahead and catch your leg once again. Pick your head up, bring your forehead toward your knee, take a breath. And releasing your head, now we'll take the left knee over towards the floor on the right. So just roll fully onto your right hip, and then sweep your left arm back over to the left. See which way your head wants to turn. Remembering that if you have a block or a pillow or something similar, you might wish to put it underneath this bent left knee or maybe underneath your left arm. Maybe both. And just take a few breaths. All right, now keeping this left knee still bent, bring it back through center and then just let it drop out to the side. So out to the left side. Left foot is now kind of on the inside of your right thigh. And just pause. Take a couple breaths. All right, let the right knee bend, walk the foot in. So the feet are pretty close together, and then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Guide the legs in toward the chest, reaching through for that right leg, and rock a little side to side. All right, take your hands behind your right knee so you're able to straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling. Reach up through the heel as you pull the toes down. And point up through the toes, stretching the top of the foot, the front of the ankle. Again, reach the heel up, pull the toes down. And once more, point the toes. All right, let that right foot and ankle relax. Straighten your left leg up to join it so you've got your left ankle on top of the right ankle. And then interlace the fingers, hands behind the head. Again, head and elbows on the floor. 3 more of these as we inhale to slowly lower the legs toward the floor. And exhale as you pull your legs back up. All right, 2 more times. Breathing in as you lower. Breathing out as you lift. And one more inhale. And exhale. All right, let the feet come down to rest on the floor. And one more time, let your knees sway side to side. All right, release your hands from behind your head, roll to one side, and press yourself up and into a seated position. So, as you come into a seated position, you might be sitting directly on the floor. You might have a cushion or something that you can sit up on. I always like to sit up on a cushion just so that it's a little bit more effortless to sit upright. Because sometimes, for some of us in some of our bodies, when we sit directly on the floor, there's a little bit of slouching that happens in the spine just because it's a little difficult to get the spine upright. So, sit up on a cushion if you have one, if you would like to do that. And just take a moment to close your eyes. Feeling the body in this new orientation. We've done a little bit of practice laying down. Now we're in a more upright vertical position. And then we'll guide our palms together in front of the heart. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up toward the ceiling. And then begin to reach up through one hand and up through the other side. Left and right a few times. Gently pull down on your fingers. Lengthen each arm, each side of the body. All right, then let your hands separate. Take them behind your back, interlace your fingers there. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, open up across your chest, and begin to turn your head from side to side. All right, and then reach your chin up toward the ceiling, really stick it out. And drop the chin down toward your chest, sensing into the back side of your neck. Again, lift your chin up and drop it down. And then one more time, lifting up and dropping down. All right, as you bring your head back up to center, release the arms, and then we'll take the right leg out to the side. So from the cross-legged position, just take your right leg out to the side. Now, how far out it goes is going to depend on the bony structure of your hips. So just take it out a comfortable distance out to the right. All right, then we'll start to walk the right hand down the right leg. And then just start to move your left shoulder back in space as though you wanted to look in the opposite direction of this right foot. So left shoulder's moving back. You can start with your head turning to look in the opposite direction. And then you might already be feeling some sensation in the left side of the low back, even before we sweep the left arm. Now up and over. All of our bodies are different, so find just enough sensation that it's interesting for you, but not so much where you feel like, I need to get out of this. So, where that's going to be for you, it's going to be different for each of us. So, find just enough interesting sensation and then breathe. All right, take one more breath. The next time that you inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, just let your hands come to rest on the floor behind you as you lean back into your hands and just pause a moment. Letting that left side of the low back kind of soften and absorb all of the sensation we've invited into it. All right, as you bring your torso back upright, now we'll take this same right hand now over to the bent left knee. Take your left hand towards the floor behind you. Inhale, grow tall. So really lift up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, begin to twist over to the left. Now, at a certain point, your left shoulder isn't going to go back any further. Just pause there, but turn your head back over to the right. See if you can spot your right big toe. Hold your focus on your right big toe as you breathe. All right, now slowly unravel from your head and neck, and then your shoulders, and the rest of your torso. And then we'll switch sides. So take the left leg out, fold the right leg in. And again, how far you take your leg out is going to depend on how your hips are shaped. So just take your leg out a comfortable distance. And then we'll start to walk the left hand down the left leg. As we do that, we'll start to move the right shoulder back and kind of look in the opposite direction of that left foot. So right shoulder's going back. You're looking over to the right. All right, again, you might already start to feel some sensation in your right low back, but then take your right arm up and over to the extent that is comfortable and possible in your body. And then breathe. You might say that's the most important part. Mm. All right, another full breath. All right, with your next inhale, lift up nice and slow. And with your exhale, take your hands to rest on the floor behind you, leaning back. Pause and breathe. All right, as you bring your torso upright, we'll take this same left hand now across to the right knee and then right hand toward the floor behind you. As you inhale, grow tall, reaching up through the top of the head. And then as you exhale, just begin to move that right shoulder back. And then when you reach your stopping point where you feel like your shoulder is at its furthest that it's going to go, pause there, but turn just your head back over to the left and see if you can spot your left big toe. Relax the muscles of your face, your jaw. All right, now begin to unravel this twist from your head and neck, from your shoulders, and the rest of your torso. All right, so now we'll shift onto hands and knees. All right, so as you come to hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then we'll start with a few cycles of cat and cow. All right, so as you inhale, drop the belly, lift your head and your tailbone. As you exhale, tuck your tail, round your back, bring your chin toward your chest. Again, with your inhale, belly drops, head and tail lift. With your exhale, tuck and round. And just do this a few times at your own speed. Really checking in with your torso. How does it feel to go through back bend and forward bend? Are there places in your spine or shoulders or hips that feel a little stuck when you do this? Does it feel balanced, left side to right side? All right, bring your torso back to neutral. We'll drop down onto our elbows. Just let the elbows now be under the shoulders. Take the hands together, interlace the fingers. And then as you start to press down into your forearms, you feel your shoulders engage. So you're very strong in your shoulders. You want to maintain that as we now tuck our toes under, lift the knees, and take the hips up into the air. All right, keep pressing your forearms down. And as you do that, you'll notice that your chest starts to move toward your thighs. Now, certainly not all the way to your thighs, but there's a sense when your forearms are pressing down that your chest is kind of moving toward the thighs. Another breath or two. All right, release down to your knees. Come back up onto your hands. This time, take your knees close together, and then we'll reach the left leg back in space. And so just lift your leg up about the same height as your torso. And you want to feel the back side of your left leg engage. So one of the ways that can kind of help you feel like the back of your leg is engaging is that if you imagine that there's a surface on the back side of your left leg that you're pushing up against, rather than just letting your leg hang there limply, push up so that the back side of the leg is engaged. All right, so with that, then take your right arm forward. Now, if it's a little bit too difficult to balance here, that right hand can come back close to the floor, barely touching, or palm all the way down. But if you're someone who can take their arm forward and you maybe feel a little bit of challenge to your balance, but it's workable, then also experiment with the position of your right arm. So take the right arm out to the side. Keep that left leg strong, pushing up. And then right hand to low back, maybe a little bit higher even toward the shoulder blades. Pause there. Re-engage your left leg. Right arm back out to the side. And forward. Now right hand down to the floor, cross the left leg over the right leg, drop the toes, and then curve your spine to the right. So you're peeking back at that left foot. Sensing all the way up the left leg, left side of the torso. All right, as your torso comes back to neutral, bring the legs together, sit back towards your feet as we come into child's pose. Your thighs can be a little bit apart here. Your thighs can be close together. You could also take your thighs very far apart if that's more comfortable for your proportions. You can drop down to elbows. You can come all the way down, bringing your head to the floor. Again, there's lots of ways to come into this posture. Play around and see if you can find a version that's comfortable for you. All right, take 3 breaths. All right, rising back up onto hands and knees. We'll do the other side. So knees back together. This time, right leg reaches back. And again, just lifting it up about the same height as your torso. But imagine that the back of your right leg is pushing up against a surface. So you want to feel that the back of the leg is engaged and not just hanging there kind of limply. All right, so pushing up. All right, maintain that. Take your left arm forward. Now, again, if it's a little too much to keep the hand lifted, just keep it close to the floor or all the way down. But if it's workable today to have the arm forward, then experiment with the position of your arm. So take your left hand out to the side. And then left hand to low back or a little bit higher if it can go higher. Pausing in this position, re-engage your right leg. And then left arm back out to the side. And then forward. And down to the floor. And then cross your right leg over your left leg, drop your toes. Curve your spine to the left as you peek back at that right foot. Sensing all the way up the right side of the body. All right, as you bring your torso back to neutral, legs come back together, and then one more time we'll sit back into child's pose, hips toward the heels. Take a moment here to give your hands a little bit of a break. You might turn your palms up and just squeeze and release the fingers a few times. Take another breath or two. All right, as you bring yourself back up onto hands and knees, step the left foot to the left hand. All right, lifting your torso up, we'll just be in a short lunge here. So front knee is over the ankle, right hip is over the knee. And then we'll take the arms forward and let the palms touch. All right, deep breath in. As you exhale, twist to the left, send your left arm out and back. Again, inhale, palms back together. Exhale and twist over to the left. And then one more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, now pause in the twist. Let this front hand, your right hand, come down to rest on your left knee. And then turn your head to look back towards your left thumb. Relax the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw. All right, sweep the left hand forward. Take both hands down to the floor. Step your right foot forward. So you come into a forward fold. Folding over your legs. You might bend your knees a little bit here, especially if you have any low back discomfort when you're folding. Creating this shelf for your torso to rest on by bending your knees is very helpful for some bodies. So try that out if you have any low back discomfort. Bend your knees, lay your belly on your thighs. Now your hands might be grabbing a hold of your legs somewhere or your elbows. That sometimes feels nice as well. So many options here. Take a couple breaths. All right, and then walk your hands up the fronts of your legs, rising up to stand. As we come to stand, we'll shrug the shoulders up, take them back and down. A couple of times, shrugging up and back and down, and one more. All right, take your feet to hip distance apart if they're not already. And then as you inhale, bend your knees, press your hips back, float your arms forward. Now, if it's comfortable for your shoulders, you might also experiment with taking your arms up alongside your head. But if that causes any low back discomfort, just lower the arms a little bit. All right, now as we exhale, press through the heels, rise to stand, and release the arms, reaching them as far back as they're able to go. Do that twice more. Inhale, come into chair pose. Knees bend. Hips back, arms up. Exhale, press through the heels, rise to stand, and reach your arms back in space. All right, one more time, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, now this time, as you come into chair pose, we'll exhale and fold forward. Step the feet back into downward dog. As your hips come up into the air, spread your fingers wide and really press into all of your fingers. All right, and then release down to your knees. Step your right foot to your right hand. Stepping into a short lunge as you lift up. Front knee is over the ankle. Left hip is over the knee. Take your arms forward, palms come to touch. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. Send your right arm out and back. Twice more as you inhale, palms slowly come back together. Exhale and twist over to the right. And one more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Now, as you pause in the twist, take your left hand down to your right knee, and then turn your head to look back toward that right thumb. All right, as you sweep your right hand forward, both hands come to the floor. Right leg back, and then we'll come back into our seated position. Do a brief breathing practice here before concluding our practice. So once again, sitting up on a cushion if you have one. You could also be sitting in a chair if you'd like, but just sit in a way that you're comfortable. And so we'll practice alternate nostril breathing today, also called nadi shodhana. So you'll use your right hand, take your peace fingers in toward your palm so that you have your thumb and your ring finger for blocking your nostrils alternately. So right thumb comes to the right nostril, and then you'll inhale through your left side. Close off the left, open the right, and exhale. Inhale, right side. Close it off, open the left, exhale. Inhale, left side. Switch, exhale, right side. Inhale, right side. Exhale, left side. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. And exhale, left. Now, as you release your hand down to rest on your lap, allow the body to come back into regulating the speed and the volume of your breath. So let go of controlling your breath. As you feel the qualities of your breath flowing in to the body and then back out from the body. Noticing the coolness of the breath on its way in and the warmth of the breath on its way out, as well as all of the sensations that arise from breathing. the places that expand, contract within your torso. See what you can notice. All right, after you feel your next breath releasing out of your body, we'll join our palms in front of the heart. We bow to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Thank you again for practicing with me, whether you are live with me or whether you're watching this at a later time. I'll see you again soon. Next week, I'm starting a 10-day challenge at 7 a.m. So my intention is to do that Monday the 15th through Wednesday the 24th. So 10 days in a row, 7 a.m., just about a half an hour. But as with the previous challenge, it'll be on YouTube at a later time if 7 a.m. doesn't work for you for any reason. So I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.